What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another week of the Overwatch League and another week of the Watchpoint Post-Show, live from the Blizzard Arena. I'm your host, Malik Forte, joined at the desk by Zoe, and making his first appearance with us on the Post-Show, Brent.
Hi.
You happy to be back, man? I'm happy to have you back.
I'm super happy to be back.
Did you have
I'm glad
a good
I got
day?
let back into the country.
Did you
I was
have a
bit
good
scared.
day?
Did I have a good day?
Did you have a
It
good
was
day?
okay.
It was all right.
You know, it was reasonable.
It was
You
an
know,
interesting day of Overwatch, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm
Interesting
gonna
day.
leave the quality of the Overwatch out of my discussions.
Your day.
for
Okay.
today.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Well, Zoe, what was your biggest takeaway for the day?
Well, the beginning really felt like opposite day to me.
Yeah.
I got slightly
was
worried.
bizarre.
It was a bit bizarre. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bit bizarre. I wasn't quite sure what's happening on screen. But, you know, things happened. Overwatch was played. Now we're here.
What about you, Brent? What about you,
It's
Brent?
teleports at the end of the day. That's what it feels like, honestly. Yeah, for me, we had
So
some
many.
good games realistically towards the tail end of this here. You know, I like that Chengdu have decided to go out of their comfort zone a little bit. You know, they're not really playing, or the comfort zone of the league as a whole, not really playing the triple tank, triple support compositions anymore. Playing a lot of Amon on a Hammond.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun watching them.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, don't forget to pick up your Overwatch League All Access Pass so you can check out a live Q&A with the Dallas Field Flex Tank, RCK, live on Twitch right after Watchpoint. Now, in our final match of the day, it was also at the start with the Dynasty quickly going up 2-0. And it looked like they were able to keep that momentum going into the second half. The Dynasty, a team with many personalities, going up against the uncanny style of the Chengdu Hunters. I mean, once again, not shy about sticking the wrecking ball at the top of this one and all the way through the match. It shook up the Dynasty at first, but it didn't take long for them to get the download on Hammond there.
That's right. Yeah, I honestly, the thing that I like most about Chengdu is that they're a bunch of ballers, aren't they?
They are.
Honestly,
Literally.
But I just like they play a conventional composition. I'm so sorry. It's been 8 hours. You know, I have to get these jokes in now. Like, but these guys, they do play a whole variety of different stuff. You get to see some weird Overwatch, as is tradition with kind of the Chinese scene. They always like to play, you know, these random compositions.
Yeah, it's part of their play style. Just be chaotic and, you know, the element of surprise is really what's... you like it.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
You think this is a comfortability thing that they're playing all these crazy, you know, compositions, or are they just doing this to shake things up?
Oh, for sure, it's like comfortability. This is what they're used to playing in the Chinese region. Like Chengdu Hunters, respect to the management for building an all-Chinese roster. I think that you got to give them props for that as well. Whereas the other Chinese teams, they built it with Korean players in mind, some Chinese players mixed in. They went for, you know, the whole shebang, which, you know, you got to respect. And this is what they play in the Chinese region. They play a lot of Sombra, very big fans of that. And they like to play the unconventional heroes like the Wrecking Ball as well.
Right. I never thought there would be a day in the Overwatch League where we saw a composition with Torbjorn and Bastion both being played on the professional stage.
You know what surprised me the most about that?
What's that?
Like, on A, I was like, all right. But then I just rolled with it on
stuck with it.
B2.
They just went with
No, we're good. We just like walked back and then we set up shop on B. It's gonna be fine.
Hey,
it wasn't, but you know.
I always say stick to your guns and shoot for the stars. You know. And
they shot for like another galaxy there, like, way beyond.
All right,
Winning
well,
horizon.
it is time now to name our player of the match, presented by Omen by HP, and it's Michelle from the Seoul Dynasty. Not a big surprise. Another stellar game for Michelle.
Definitely deserves it. Like in our opinions, I think collectively as well. We're bigging up Michelle all the time. He's a fantastic D.Va player, fantastic Sombra player. He's been real key for this for Seoul in general. But I mentioned it in halftime earlier today. It's even more surprising because he's replacing Zumba. And Zumba is a fantastic player.
Indeed.
Like, he's just been chilling on the bench, and I'm just wondering, you know, are they going to be choosing to incorporate Zumba into the team at some point? You know, these question marks are raised, and it's the one position that I would have thought not being, you know, replaced going into the 2019 season.
Of course, Zumba, you know, a great Zarya player.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, is it necessary when you have Fleta playing so well in Zarya?
Right.
You know? It's a big question. Well, congrats to Michelle. Oh, also, we can't forget about these stats. You know, the final blows, 29 final blows.
That was pretty big.
Those ultimates negated big in that first Elios matchup when they were trying to
game winning.
Game winning. Very, very clutch there. So, yeah, another amazing match for Michelle. Congrats to Michelle, our player of the match presented by Omen by HP. Now, switching gears to our match of the day, the defending champion London Spitfire were still looking for their first win of 2019 when they faced off against the Washington Justice. The Spitfire hoping to circumvent a 3-game skid out of the gates. Washington, they did work. Birdring was starting in this game, but he didn't look like the babyface assassin that we've come to know and love, did he?
Yeah, it wasn't looking too hot to begin with. I mean, London as a whole were not looking too hot. I don't know what stern talking to they had at the halfway point in this match, but it was something. I mean, I think they might have had Michael Jordan's like special sauce, you know, whatever the hell it was called. I don't know what it was I
have no idea what you're getting at.
The basketball film.
Please continue.
I don't know what it is, though. Help me out, please.
Wait, Space Jam?
Space Jam, bro.
Yeah.
It literally escaped my mind.
Basketball film.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So they just turned it around, though, and they went from looking like an appalling team to an average team.
Yeah, but I think you
definitely needed.
You can honestly just like point at 2 players there, which really brought it home for London. And that has to be Fury as well as Prophet.
Yeah.
Prophet, unsurprisingly, just stellar always. And even
Super
the maps
consistent.
where he lost, like he was still a consistent player. Like you can believe that he actually won. It's like, oh, we did it! Yay.
Giannis was hyped. He was hyped there for a second.
Super, as hyped as Giannis can get, yeah.
Don't
But
get too excited.
Fury on his diva really carried it for me for that team.
Yes, yeah, no, and I was always bigging up Fury pretty much the entirety of the previous season. And I've been carrying into this as well because he now has to flex over to the Sombra. He has to flex over to these unusual roles, but he's picked up the hero very well. So I love that you pointed out Fury. I think he's a fantastic player.
What does this match say about the Washington Justice? Because they did go up 2-0 on the London Spitfire.
Yep.
Couldn't keep the composure, but there were some bright spots for them, would you say?
There were. They're definitely looking better than they were before in the previous week. Right. I will say this much as well, because now they found their W key, which is fantastic. They begin to walk forward.
Not the A key, finally.
Not the S key. They're not constantly backpedaling. They definitely look a little bit better, but there is still work. You know, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Sorry to all the Washington Justice fans. There's still work to be built upon here.
Right. Indeed. I don't want to take anything away from the London Spitfire because they were able to pull it together.
Yep.
But the Justice, we're just going to be interested to see how much they can grow from this, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, as well, you can't really scoff at the result as well. You're taking London Spitfire to map 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to downplay them too much because that is still an achievement. This is the 2018 inaugural season champions.
Yeah. If any, that's going to be a huge morale boost, and Washington Justice will need that heading into the next few games.
Wizard Young as well, you know, he's going to be happy.
Well, he doesn't need a morale boost. He's boosting himself enough.
Boost.
It's going to be fine.
Indeed. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because coming up, we've got 2 teams getting their first wins and some very interesting comms from Florida. You're not going to want to miss that. Stay tuned. This is the Watchpoint Post Show.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
Welcome back to the Watchpoint Post Show. Once again, I'm your host, Malik Forte. Now, the Florida Mayhem were on the hunt for their first Overwatch League win against the Philadelphia Fusion today. And it was a bit of a knockdown dragout, a little more than expected. See, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the Fusion are the #1 team here in the league. And a match against the Mayhem, that was supposed to be light work, right? No, wrong, partner. The Mayhem were looking a lot like the team that we saw on paper.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, props to Mayhem here, actually turning up, performing, turning around after a kind of like a poor series in the first week. I think they've done very well here to beat Philadelphia Fusion. will say take it with a bit of a grain of salt as well, because they were playing with Elk instead of Boombox. Boombox is out sick. Elk is traditionally he's a main support. He's not a flex support player. He's not used to that role. And I do want to give props to Elk, honestly, for stepping up as well last minute.
This was
like
his
this.
debut too, so that's a last-minute debut, and he did get picked on by the Mayhem quite a bit at some point. So tough start, but you know, trial by fire. So that's how it goes here in the Overwatch League. I want to give props to not just the Mayhem players, but I think also their coaching staff. They looked so well prepared. This team has done their homework.
Right.
They came in with really good set game strats and game plans, and they executed it, and they stayed adaptable. They stayed flexible and made the necessary switches whenever needed.
You know, it was a really good thing to see, because last year a lot of people were questioning the Florida Mayhem's coaching staff, and they just didn't really have the tools to do exactly what they wanted to do, to carry out their vision. And I feel like now they have the team to do that, and we got to see that in play today.
Yeah, we absolutely did. So, I mean, this is honestly very good for Mayhem, because it's a team that, as we all know, didn't perform well in Season 1, or in the 2018 season, I should say. And now that they've actually got this foundation to build upon, it's happy days, really, from this point on. So for all the Florida fans out there, you got something to look forward to, you know, as the season continues.
Another thing, too, I think all Overwatch League teams can learn from this matchup to respect your opponent.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like the Fusion didn't have much respect coming in. Carpe overextended at the beginning of the game. That kind of sent them into the downward spiral that ended up being a loss.
Yeah, by the end, I should hope they would have been respected them, you know, because BQB is a name that we didn't talk about actually during that little recap there, but that was one of the guys that really impressed me, honestly. Fantastic Sombra player and Zarya to boot.
Indeed, indeed. Now, the Mayhem retooled their roster in the offseason and landed on a mostly Korean-speaking squad with the exception of Tavik and Apply. We've got insider Danny Lim joining us at the desk now. Welcome, my bro. And Danny, how are the Mayhem managing their in-game communication?
In-game communication. So I did take a look at the their comms in the EVS room, and it was pretty interesting, at least. You want to take a look? You guys want to take a look?
Yes, please.
Let's take a look.
오케이. 고 아웃사이드, 고 아웃사이드. 베이스 업도 잘이야. 이거 비트다이브 트레이드 버블 라인 그랩 봐, 오케이?
Beat, we go now. Break.
Shoot me.
I'm a break. No bubble.
오케이, 몽키 아로 메인. 킬먹기. 우리 퍼플. 리더 벨. 오케이. Look for EMP. Touch point. 브리.
So yeah, what did you guys think?
Whoa. Wait. They're speaking English?
That is correct. Contrary to popular belief, they do actually talk in English. So I was actually curious about that. So I actually followed up and talked with head coach Mineral, and he told me that all the players, when they were in Korea for their boot camp, that's when they actually started practicing using English wherever they go. And even for game specific, comm related stuff, they would use only English.
So how is that impacting their roster? Considering that really the majority of it are Koreans, so I would always think that it should be the minority who has to adapt to the languages spoken by the majority.
I actually, that was my follow-up question to Mineral, and he told me that the reason why they're using more English is so that basically Florida teams, so that they could, if they have a newer player come in that's non-Korean, then all the player on the roster could actually talk with them in-game in English.
Oh, that's wild. So they're thinking ahead.
Right, for the future.
For the future.
Basically.
Interesting. Man, that is some super insightful stuff. Well, hey, Danny, thank you so much for breaking that down for us. We're going to move on. Now, the Guangzhou Charge took on the Dallas Field today, and another one of our expansion teams notched their first victory of the season. The Fuel looking to make it back-to-back victories after taking out the Dynasty last week against the super aggressive Guangzhou Charge. We got to see this team on that 3-3 comp a lot more this time. And they look pretty good.
Yes, yeah, they looked really good, Malik, honestly. I've been dead impressed with them. In fact, this team, because we didn't really know what to expect from them when they played against Chengdu. We didn't know how they were going to be performing against a team that can run these, you know, sort of triple tank, triple support compositions like Dallas that also flex into the Sombra. But they performed very well. I think a big part of this is Kib as well, that you can see. He's actually dead in this in that clip there. But for the majority of the game, he was alive. this guy, Kib, I mean, he's a fellow UK countryman. Yep. He brings a lot of experience when it comes to understanding the triple tank, triple support compositions.
Just Overwatch, period.
Exactly, and Overwatch in general. This guy is super talented. I think he brings a lot to this squad, a lot of experience, as I've already said multiple times. And it's that this team, I think, was lacking a little bit. And it's good that they've, you know, found a way to sort of incorporate him into this roster, despite having 3 nationalities, you know. You've got Korean, you've got Mandarin, and you've got English players. Not Mandarin, I should say Chinese players. All mixed into this one squad. And the fact that they managed to make it work is nothing less than impressive.
Indeed, indeed. I gotta say, it was so good seeing Kib. And during that interview, man, did he hit a growth spurt or something?
I mean, you might have.
Every time I see him, it's like taller. it's wild. So, Zoe, is there anything that you could point out that went wrong for the Dallas Fuel in this game?
Oh man, I think they didn't quite show the same amount of adaptability that we saw from Charge.
Right.
They weren't very quick on the spot there. I also think that just the general individuals underperformed. AKM was a non-factor. Unco got completely out. I'm sorry, but that was the case.
So they're having a signing behind.
Well, he didn't even start.
I was just saying.
Having a signing behind this,
know,
mate.
but
Where is he?
you
He's
gotta keep
Dylan
it
over there.
real. I think he's not listening to me, and I love him dearly. But it was just not the AKM I'm used to see. It's not the AKM we saw in their previous matches, which is unfortunate because I thought really that in the first week he really stepped it up. It was the AKM I wanted to see all along because he was able to play on those heroes. We haven't really seen much of him before, and I thought that he performed really well. Today, not so much. Also, OG didn't see much like Unco. Statistically was so far behind everything we saw from Charge's side. So even though they're actually behind me and probably hear me saying all of that, you know, I gotta keep it real. I hope
keep it at 100.
Yeah, you know, I hope it's gonna go better next time.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it. Which fuel are we gonna see today? And we got our answer. But guys, coming up, we've got our top moments of the day. So don't go anywhere. This is the Watchpoint Post Show.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, everyone. It's now time for one of our favorite segments on the show. It's time to give props to the most over-the-top moments of the day. And we're going to start off with Chris's poop.
Oh, man.
To Zephyr's SC.
So
this was amazing.
Good.
He pretty much pooped him up in the sky into the self-destruct.
Yeah, he's a big lad, isn't he? Look at that. Ooh.
I think that was the best Zephyr bump I've ever seen, actually.
Do you know what I do like, though, about this sort of meta that we're seeing, right, with the triple tank, triple support? A lot of people don't like it, but it does give the main supports a lot of room to just flex on them.
And cool plays like that.
Haters, you know?
Right,
like,
you could flex on them.
Straight up.
Oh, man.
Speaking of flexing, Fisher, Fire Strike and Mercy sniping her out of the sky with a Fire Strike.
Woo, please. Like, look at this. He's like...
Precision of a surgeon.
Pythagoras or something in his head. I don't know what it's called. Mental arithmetics. Geometry.
Or he just fire strike into the air and
the meme with all the equations over his head?
Exactly.
Yeah, really. Also, super fan, this is Alex. He's at the arena pretty often, and he's always dancing. How do you like his moves in comparison to Baby Bass?
I mean, They're not as polished, but he's feeling himself.
And he's
I dig it.
But he's doing this from start to finish, man. How much energy do you have to have?
How many calories does he burn? That's what
He's
you only get those steps.
Probably a lot. Also, we had Rio with this crazy 4K Earth Shatter.
That was just a big brain play.
They,
that was so beautiful.
Really trying to do Dallas dirty, aren't we, while they're doing a signing behind them?
Show it again in slow-mo. Look at that.
If that was me, I'd have PTSD, like, for sure. For sure.
Oh, man.
Last but not least, the Mayhem getting the upset over the Fusion. Not many people expected this one coming into today, but they were able to pull it off.
Yep, big moment from them. I think they're going to be, as we said before, very happy with this. I think the Florida fans, all two of you out there, you're going to be very happy with that as well, you know? Maybe I should start throwing shade at fans out there. I apologize.
This is Watchpoint After Dark.
This
is me with my filter off. So.
Well, guys, those are the moments that made us cheer the most. But now, let's see who you guys are cheering for on Twitch. At the top, climbing over the Hangzhou Spark is the Atlanta Reign. They have taken the lead. They are #1 on our Cheerbits leaderboard. What do you guys think about that?
I think they call that the Fran effect, don't they?
Right?
You know?
Yeah, that isn't.
We should give us like some type of like rap air horn or something for that, man, for ATL. And if you're giving a lot of these teams some love, you can end up on this leaderboard too. So keep those donations coming, people. Keep them coming. But don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with some more on the Watchpoint Post Show.
We can take the momentum that we built from Season 1 by just the amount of knowledge and synergy that we have as a team.
Custom gets him! Wow, just firing with that pistol.
로스터 변경도 거의 없기 때문에 더 좋은 팀 플레이를 할 수 있다 생각해서.
Oh, Fate uses the opportunity to get a big fat shatter.
Team should fear Valiant because I'm on the roster.
Speaking of the LA Valiant, here's a look at what we have on the docket for tomorrow. The Atlanta Reign is going to be taking on the Toronto Defiant. That's one I am personally looking forward to very much. We also have the LA Valiant going up against the NYXL, a rematch of our Stage 4 playoff finals last year. Zoe, what are you looking out for tomorrow?
Well, initially I want to mention the Dragons Uprising game, but I don't want to take this away from Brent because no, Matt, you're a Dragons fan, like with all your heart. So I don't want to take this away from you. So I'm gonna go with the last match actually. I think I'm gonna go Spark Houston. Can Houston bring it back? Will Spark continue to dominate? It's gonna be a very interesting one.
Indeed, indeed. Ren, Shanghai, go ahead.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Took it away from you already.
Haven't you? Oh, man. I mean, I'm looking forward, of course. Shanghai Dragons are playing in that match.
Surprise.
I think I made the claim earlier that they might be winning that one against Boston. I don't know.
You definitely did. You 100% did.
But if I am to give a second response as well, New York Valiant, that is going to be straight fire. Like, I think that match is going to be super close between these two teams. Very similar play styles. Very high level of Overwatch being played. I'm looking forward to all of the matches tomorrow, really.
You know what? I think it's arguable that the LA Valiant are a little better this year.
Yep.
I think it's arguable. So we'll see. That match is going to be crazy. But guys, that's going to be all for us. We'll be back tomorrow. And don't forget the Q&A with RCK is coming up next, only with the Overwatch League All Access Pass on Twitch. We'll see you guys tomorrow.